The proposed legislation pushes for veterans to reach new heights.
The bill currently in the Senate would make aviation training more financially accessible for those who have served in the military. New at 10, Emily Riley explains how the program can both get veterans back into the workforce and ease a national shortage of pilots.
The American Aviator Act of 2023, introduced by Senator Tammy Baldwin and Senator Hoeven, would distribute flight training grants to help veterans become commercial airline pilots. It addresses a problem Senator Baldwin says airlines around the nation are feeling.
We have a desperate shortage of pilots in training to serve the commercial airline world, and this shortage is only going to be addressed when we have a concerted effort to recruit and train the next generation of pilots.
The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates there will be roughly 18,000 openings per year for airline and commercial pilots this decade. The bill also aims to support veterans returning to the workforce. Training institutions like Fox Valley Technical College would recruit and enroll veterans in their programs.
The program allows those enrolled to engage in hands-on training, like the flight simulator.
The pilot students, they learn all about the machines that they're flying, so all about the airplanes and the systems, the weather that they're flying in, of course all the regulations that govern aviation, and then of course the hands-on skills to become a pilot.
The legislation would take care of incurred expenses. That means tuition, training services, books, and other training resources would be covered. Jared Huss, the director of aeronautics at the Fox Valley Technical College, says a career in aviation can be fulfilling for several reasons.
It's a really enjoyable career. There's a lot of forecast stability in the field, and it's a very high-paying career.
If the bill passes, we could expect to see more veterans filling the shortage and taking flight. In Oshkosh, Emily Riley, Action 2 News.